For Wilmington high school athletes, there will be no spring sports season in 2020. COVID-19 took care of that. Beginning in mid-March, schools shut down. Basically, our entire society shut down as we began to social distance to stop the spread of the virus. In Wilmington, that left our athletic fields empty and unused. What should have been the final high school season for many athletes turned first into a waiting game and finally into the ultimate injustice of a season canceled. As you drove around town, every venue sat empty. There were no track meets, no tennis matches, no lacrosse games. Softball and baseball fields sat empty the entire spring. For high school seniors, spring is the time of concerts, plays, sports, proms, senior week, graduations, and graduation parties. It is also the last chance most student athletes get to play the sports they love. There is no way to replace the games that were missed, competing for championships, making the state tournament, being honored on senior day, and spending one last season with their coaches and teammates. Today we will have the opportunity to honor and thank these seniors and allow them to reflect on what they have missed. Welcome to this special edition of 2020 Spring Wildcat Sports Update. It's been a tough spring for everyone. We are socially distancing in the studio due to the COVID-19 crisis. We're fortunate to have athletes, spring athletes, especially now will be our baseball kids, who are joining us today just to talk about what they missed, having missed their opportunity to play their spring season of baseball. Join us today will be Brendan George, Bailey Smith, and Tristan Champa. First of all, let's go through the room. Brendan, give us a little biography of yourself as a baseball player.
I'm Brendan George. I played short, and I played 2 years of varsity baseball.
Okay, Bailey?
Bailey Smith. I played 2 years of varsity baseball, played Little League all the way up till high school. Tristan Champa, played pitcher, third base, started playing, from T-ball all the way up to high school, played 2 years of varsity.
Okay, that's great. Real quick, let's start off with the tough stuff. Mid-March we left school, everything closed, and I know that there was an opportunity to, we might get the season in. The MIA was saying we might get it in. So you get to April, you guys had done all your winter workouts. What were the thought processes in April for you, Bailey?
Just to keep the team ready to play, no matter what. When it happened, I was skeptical of going back, so them two just made sure that everybody on the team made sure that if we were going to play, we'd be ready.
Okay, and Brendan, what was your feeling in April? Were you as pessimistic as Bailey was, or did you have some optimism that you might get like a 10 or 15 game schedule in?
Yeah, I was hoping that we would have had some sort of a season, but as it started to progress, it just kind of seemed like it was going farther and farther away from getting a season.
Okay, then Tristan, simply, how did you stay positive in that month or so as everybody kept saying, you might play, you might not play?
It was kind of tough, because you didn't know if we were going to have a season or not. After what happened last year, the way the season ended, we didn't really end on the terms we wanted to. So this year we were hoping that we could end it the way we wanted to, and we couldn't. The way it ended, it was just out of our control. And
so this was to be the redemption tour for the seniors. Now, just real quickly, I don't know who wants to answer. I think there are two more seniors that would have been on the team. Names?
Harry Cerrone and Vinny Scalfani.
Okay, so they couldn't join us. We invited the captains, and Coach Kyra got me in touch with these three guys, and they generously are giving up their time here to fill us in. So April rolls into May, and all of a sudden everything's cut off. Done. Your season's over. Your school's over. There's no graduation. Brendan, what was that feeling like?
Just get ready for whatever comes next. It's just kind of, for me, it was obviously I'm going to try to play ball in college, so just prepare for whatever I can take out there.
Okay, Tristan?
Pretty much going off of what he said, just gearing up for college, because unlike the other two teammates, the other two senior teammates, they aren't playing in college, so I'm very fortunate enough to definitely be playing in college. So now I just have to gear up and practice and prepare and train for that season.
So Bailey, let's look at it a different way. So now Bailey, you're a football and baseball player. Yeah. You got to play your senior season in football. I'm sure you look forward to that. And in January and February, you guys are up at the cages and practicing, doing captain's practice. You're looking forward to it. What was the feeling like when all of a sudden you don't get to look forward to it?
I was really sad because baseball is really big in my family, and well, I just wanted to go out there and break my brother's record again, but I couldn't do it, so I was pretty sad.
Okay, just for the record, Bailey's brother is Graham Smith, who graduated in 2018, right? And you
Yeah,
got
I
a
think
brother.
so.
He's got like brothers and sisters all over the place.
Yeah.
It's like the family dynamic that we get within the baseball community between the Smiths having the battles to see where they can go. So Bailey, then real quickly, what were you looking forward to this season other than breaking your brother's record again?
I was just hanging out. I was looking forward to hanging out with the boys and the coaches. Everyone there is just great people, and I couldn't. Sucks that we didn't get to talk and hang out with them, but that's what I looked forward to. I didn't really care about playing the game. Just wanted to hang out with my friends.
Okay, Brendan, what were you looking forward to? And again, like I said before in our pregame here, you can't really repeat what Bailey said. So what do you got?
Sounds kind of cheesy, but bringing back a state title.
Okay.
That's kind of what we all wanted.
Well, that would be great.
Okay.
But again, our as a team, it's been a tough go. I mean, like for the last 5 or 6 years. That's a great idea. So you missed having that opportunity.
Yeah.
And anything else? You were a shortstop?
Yep.
Did you pitch at all?
No.
So you're just strictly going to play shortstop the whole season?
Short, third, basically wherever coach put me, I was going to try to play. So.
And how did you handle the infield, the hard surface of the infield at the ball field there at Scanlon?
It's tough. A couple of bad hops here and there, but make it work.
That's true. Good. Tristan, so for you, again, we missed teammates. We missed the opportunity to compete for a championship. We missed the opportunity to play on that beautiful hard rock surface sometimes that we get on Scanlon Field. What did you miss personally, and then as a teammate kind of thing?
Just playing with Wilmington across my chest, wearing that uniform, wearing the white uniform, the blue uniform, and then the camo uniform that we get to rock on Memorial Day. I was hoping to be able to do that one last time. We couldn't do it, but
Okay, so let me ask that question. Which uniform do you like the best?
the camos, dude, come on.
I like the blue ones. I don't
Okay.
know.
And let's see if we can get the trifecta. Which ones? How about you, Brendan?
Camos, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm with Bailey. I love those blue uniforms. The new blue uniforms Coach bought about 2 years
They're
ago.
just clean.
I
don't
agree.
know.
I can't see your numbers, so if I'm broadcasting the game, not
That's
that I
true.
don't know you guys by face,
That's
but if I
true.
can't see your numbers, all of a sudden you can't find the number. So no, that's true. It's interesting that a lot of kids love the camos, and so the blues and the camos were big.
Yeah.
Okay, as we talked earlier, what were your expectations, personally and team-wise? What were your individual expectations and your team goals expectations going into the season? Tristan.
Individual for me, make the all-star team again, shoot for league MVP. Those are two of my individual goals, and then team-wise, lead the team to a title run deep in the playoffs and get out of the first round. And past couple of years, getting out of the first round has really been a struggle. So I was hoping that this team would be the first team in the last 6 years to make it over that hump and go deep in the playoffs.
Yes, that first round curse is a major curse. It's sort of like the curse of the Bambino. It's
Yeah.
probably called the curse of the boil or something. Bailey, what about you? What were your individual goals? I know we already know about your brother, but what are the other individual goals as well as the team goal that you had set?
I was just trying to want to get one hit per game. That was kind of my goal. That was always my goal last year too, because then once you get one hit, then you can go off from there. But if you don't get a hit, then you're not really. That's why I said get one hit.
And team-wise?
Just to make the playoffs, I guess. Beat Burlington, because I don't like.
Yeah, it's been a
Burlington.
couple of years of Burlington beating us. I
Yeah,
think
I
you're right. I
like
think since
Burlington.
they lost that playoff game 3 years ago, I think Burlington's beat us 6 or 7 straight times, right?
Yeah.
That's a good goal, though. I like that one. And Brendan?
Just to post up better numbers than I had last year, lower the error count on that side of the infield, and team goals definitely just to make the playoffs,
Right.
just to have a good morale going in.
Okay, good. And what are you gonna, Brendan? What are you gonna miss the most? Not just about baseball, but high school sports in general, and then in particular the baseball team.
Definitely the coaching staff and the fans that always come out to watch.
Okay, good. Bailey, what are you gonna miss the most?
There's nothing like being able to play with your whole family being able to come and not having to drive out 30 minutes to go watch you play. It's just cool be able to play right in town.
Okay, and Tristan?
Team dinners, bus rides. I think some of the most memorable moments you can make are throughout those two events.
And we're going to look to the future next. Tristan, future plans, school, work, not going to say family, and and you said you were going to play. So what's your future look like?
I'm going to Northern Essex Community College, studying business management. I'll be playing baseball for 2 years there, and we'll go from there when those 2 years are up.
Good. Bailey?
Going to Curry College to play football. Probably going to major in criminal justice.
Okay, and Brendan?
I'm going to Springfield College, and I'm going to major in sports management, hopefully trying to walk onto the baseball team out there.
Good. Okay, and I got one more because I just thought of one up just right off the top of my head. What is the one highlight, personal highlight for you, Brendan, individually in your baseball career? I mean, from T-ball to where you are right now. What's the one personal highlight you can bring up?
Probably my first home run at Rotary.
Okay, and who'd you hit that off of?
Oh, I have no idea.
You don't know? Who'd you play for in Little League? What team and what coach?
Twins and Mark Dinan and Tom Sheehan.
Okay, and who'd you hit it off of? Do you remember the team?
Red Sox, I think.
Okay, good. So you don't remember the pitcher?
No.
So we can't like it was Tristan. We can't make fun of Tristan.
I don't think it was any of these guys. I wish it was, but I don't think it was.
Okay, Bailey?
Making the Lowell Sun team last year because I thought that was pretty cool. I never really even knew there was a thing until I made it.
Yeah.
So
That's good. And Tristan?
Probably walking off Burlington last year. You know,
You did beat them. That's
that
right.
whole
That
game.
was fun.
I came in, you know, we were down, pitched second half of the game, and then didn't let them score a run. Then I ended up hitting the walk-off hit, and we won. So.
Okay. And again, I'd like to give you an opportunity. Is there anyone, and this will be the final thing, is there anybody you'd like to thank, for getting you to this point? Athletes are a unique breed, and the people behind them, there's always somebody behind the scenes or somebody who's pushing you to make yourself better. Is there anybody you personally right now like to thank?
Probably my mom, she's always been my biggest supporter. She's always, been there for me when no one really was there. She's always pushing me to be better and to be a better version of myself, not letting me quit. Even, there have been plenty of times I've wanted to quit. She's pretty much my role model.
Bailey?
definitely my parents, my grandfather, definitely Papa. He's the man. My coaches like Bob Mitchell, Aldo, Brian, just all the coaches and everything.
Awesome. Good. And Brendan?
Definitely my entire family. My grandfather especially told me just keep fighting, go through it, no matter what. And all my coaches, so Scott Edwards, Coach Aldo, Coach Brian, Mark Dinan, all those guys. So
Good. Good. And it's a shame. I know I coached Bailey for 1 year.
I just forgot. I was about to say and Jimbo. I forgot about it.
I didn't get to coach Bailey 1 year when he was a younger player playing at a much higher level. And I will give Bailey props. We went out to Westford one night, and he threw the lights out of a game that we needed to win. And it was so he was part of the only team in Wilmington history to go into the Northeast League and win a division title. So yes, I do remember that.
Yeah.
So like I said, I'd like to thank Brendan, Bailey, and Tristan for coming in and sharing their thoughts. And we will be right back with our next set of students after this.
You can watch WCTV on TV, Comcast Channel 9 or Verizon Channel 37. You can stream our channel online, wctv.org/live, and you can stream our channel through the WCTV app, available for Apple and Android devices. Now you can also stream WCTV through the WCTV channel on Roku. Here's how. Go down to the Streaming Channels line and then go to Search Channels. Type in WCTV and then look for the WCTV Apple logo in the right-hand column. Install the app and it'll display on your homepage. When you click on it, you not only get a live stream of our main channel, but also our meetings channel and access channel. What's better is that we found this Roku channel streams a bit better than our regular cable channels, even if it is a minute or two delayed from real time.
Welcome back to this special spring 2020 Wilmington Wildcat Sports Update. This afternoon I'm being joined by our lone senior from our girls softball team, Cassidy Ross. Welcome, Cassidy.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Okay, you're welcome, no problem. So a couple things, let's give you a chance to introduce yourself, what position you played, how long you played for the varsity team.
Cassidy Ross. I play right field, or at least I trained for it. And I've been playing on varsity since junior year, and then for Wilmington softball since freshman year.
Okay, and what's your sophomore experience? You said earlier you go back to like 4th grade?
Yeah, I've played since like 4th grade, but I moved a lot, so it's a bunch of different places, but
Okay.
yeah.
Good. Now, you're the only senior.
Yes.
Are you, is there any, is it bothersome to be the only senior? Or?
Sometimes, because I'm like closest with my friends who played the year before,
Okay.
like the ones in my grade. But no, it doesn't really affect me at all, except for senior night. I didn't want to be the only one this year, but we didn't have it, so it's fine.
Well, we'll pretend this is like your senior night. We could have brought your parents, we could have walked you and made you feel a little better. So with the everything that's going on this spring, I mean, I'm sure you're looking forward to your season.
Yes.
And we get to March, we shut everything down. We get to April, and bang, all of a sudden they're thinking, oh, maybe you'll get to play. What was it like in that interim period where you didn't really know what was going to happen?
Well, of course I was hoping for the best, and I was hoping I would play because I trained really hard last year in order to start this year. But I was just hopeful throughout the whole thing, but I knew that I didn't think it was going to happen. But
So you had that inkling in the back of your neck. So when it officially came through in May that the season
Yeah.
was over,
it wasn't as bad because I
wasn't,
expected
okay.
it, but
good. But it
yeah.
was really, but overall, not you worked hard.
Yeah.
Okay, to
Yeah.
get to that point.
Yeah.
This was your time to shine,
Yeah.
right? Good.
Mm-hmm.
So, what were you looking forward to this season? You had already said to play right field, you worked hard.
Yeah.
What other things? What were your goals? What were you looking forward to? How did you want to structure it?
I really wanted to get better at my batting and my fielding, and we trained a lot last year. I never really got to start, occasionally, but not really. So I was excited this year to finally like be out all the time and be able to always be in the action. I think that's the biggest thing.
Okay, and what
Yeah.
were your personal expectations? Were you looking to hit 300? Did you just want to get at bats?
I really wanted to get a home run
Okay,
before I graduated.
okay.
So I never did that.
And
but-
is that a home run that you hit the ball? Now, again, I'm a baseball guy too, so
Yeah.
is that a home run hitting over the fence home run?
Over the fence,
okay.
yeah.
Because there's the Little League home run where you hit it into right field and the
Yeah,
right
yeah,
fielder
yeah.
falls down and you run around
Yeah,
the
yeah.
base. That's a great goal to have though as well. What were your team expectations going into this spring?
I wanted us all to make it further into playoffs because last year we made it to playoffs, but we were out in the first round. So I wanted to get further, maybe get a trophy or something, but I didn't know. We lost a lot of seniors last year, and it was only me.
Yeah.
So I wasn't expecting that much, but
And how was being the only senior? Did you find that the younger players looked up to you, were counting on you to get through if you were going to play, to get through the season?
yeah. I think they were excited for me to play. We were all kind of worked together. It wasn't like I acted like older or anything. We were all just kind of one.
Okay, good.
But I think they were excited. We all were. But yeah.
And
so
how
that was-
did they react to? Were there like no team dinners and no team?
Yeah,
all
'cause
that
that's the
social
fun
part of
part.
the piece.
Yeah, team dinners are so fun, and we loved doing that last year.
Okay.
So I was looking forward to it this year. I think we all were, but
So your parents would have had to host like 3 or 4 team dinners because you're only a senior.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
That's the way it works.
Yeah.
Good, good. So once the season was canceled, it was time to look to the future. And you're going to go to UNH.
Yes.
And maybe play some club softball.
Mm-hmm.
Softball's a sport you can play almost throughout till you
Yeah.
get to be an older man like me and you get a little cranky. But is it something that you're looking to not just play, but again, if it's intramurals, whatever, is it something you're looking to do into the future?
Yeah, I love playing the sport. It's all I've ever wanted to do. I just love it.
Okay.
So I'm excited to do a club if they have it in college. If not, that's fine. But maybe once I'm older, we can do a little adult league or something. I don't know.
Adult league, that's good. And did you do any other sports that you played?
Nope, just
softball's the game. Good.
Yeah.
Good. And what do you like? What's one thing that you really that you love about softball? What is that? What's the driving thing to say? I love coming out here and playing this game.
Running the bases.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part. Or sliding, like when someone's throwing the ball, trying to get you out, and you slide and you're safe. Like it's like the best thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And did you? Are there any athletes that you? I know softball, women's softball, U.S. is really good Olympic program.
Yeah.
Are there any athletes, male or female, that you look up to, that you model
Yeah.
yourself after?
Mookie Betts is like my favorite athlete ever. Obviously, he got moved over, but
So what was worse, when they traded Mookie or they got the season canceled?
I traded Mookie.
Okay,
I don't know. I just love him, and he played right field too.
right.
So
You couldn't pick a better guy to like. Anyway,
yeah.
So, yeah. And I
Yeah.
have to agree with you that was a really gut punch to us
Yeah.
here in town.
yeah.
So we talked about the outlooks and goals for the season, and did you think that there was an opportunity, the playoffs, or something that was well within reach for you guys?
I think this year it would have been a little tough because I was the only senior. We lost like our pitcher and a lot of good people, but the team's still pretty good. I thought maybe we could make it if we tried, because we trained pretty hard.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's all the optimism of it.
Yeah.
And is there anything that over your course of your time in Wilmington, softball in high school, what did you learn from your coach?
You have to work for it. Like, you really have to work, and sometimes it's like a lot of work and you might not feel like putting it in, but if you keep working hard, then you'll make progress and you'll get the results you want. Yeah.
And now we get to the fun questions. When it was kids, what did you or will or have you missed the most about losing this senior season? What did you miss the most? What's the thing you can look back and say, you know what, I missed, what?
I miss like being with my team, like being able to go out or drive around together, not having to like stay home and quarantine and stuff like that. Just being able to go out and do whatever, or flock when we do the flamingo thing. That's always fun.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. And we talked about the future. So you want to do, it's animal sciences.
Yes.
So
yes.
What's that lead you to?
Well, I was thinking of being a vet, but I also love like dogs and cats, and I don't really want to be like hurting them or have to put them down if someone can't afford a surgery. So I don't know if I want to do vet, but I thought animal science would lead me in some type of direction. I could find out what I wanted to do.
Good to hear. And you told me earlier you had a brother who went to Wilmington High School?
Yes, he graduated in 2018, yeah.
Okay, and he was a football player?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so really fun ones. These are the ones I like to ask at the end of our conversation. You played softball from 4th grade on till now.
Yep.
You played Wilmington High School. You played for Wilmington in the high school since you were a freshman,
Yes.
either JV or varsity.
Yep.
First of all, what's your favorite softball memory? Overall, favorite memory of everything you've done in softball. What's your favorite memory?
Last year, one of our practices, it started downpouring, but we didn't stop, and we got to like slide in the mud, and we got all muddy and rainy. It was really fun, and then we did team dinner afterwards, and we were all soaked, and we were just laughing about it.
That's awesome.
And it was so much fun.
That's great. Great to hear. And then finally, is there anybody you want to thank for getting you to this point? You're a senior. You're getting ready to graduate. You're going to go to college.
Yeah.
From an athletic perspective, is there somebody that you really sit there and if you get a chance, I would say, this is who I'd like to thank?
I definitely want to thank my coaches, Coach Audrey and Coach Walter. They're the best, and they train you really hard, but it helps in the end, and it gets you where you want to be. So yeah.
Okay. And if this would happen again, like as when you get older and you have a family or your friends, you're sitting around and you were part of the COVID 2020 class, what are you gonna tell your I'm not gonna say you have kids, but what are you gonna tell the next generation what it was like to live through this?
It's obviously difficult, and I like being out with my friends a lot, and there was a lot of hard times because we couldn't all be together at one point. Now it's getting better, but you just got to keep your head up.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Well, Cassidy, I really appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I'm glad that we get to honor our senior athletes who lost their season.
Yeah.
And thank you very much, and
you.
look forward to good luck at UNH.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, we'll be right back with our next group of, I think we're going to bring some track team members in here next. So we'll be back right after this.
Hello to the Wilmington business community and beyond. Are you seeking ways to promote your business brand? Wondering how you can reach a local audience by doing something other than traditional newspaper ads or social media posts? Maybe you're looking for something affordable and a way to give back to your community. Well, WCTV, Wilmington Community Television, can help. Because WCTV is a nonprofit, we can't run traditional advertising on our air. However, a business sponsorship means your name, your logo, and your business information will go out to our viewers. You'll find our rates are a fraction of what you'd expect to pay for commercial advertising. We have prices and tiers of membership that include months of sponsorship even sponsorships for sports events, town meetings, and special events in the town. Local businesses like AJ's Kitchen, Red Heat Tavern, the Self-Defense Institute, and Align Credit Union are among those already taking advantage of this marketing opportunity. Contact us for more information and see how you can become a business partner with WCTV.
Welcome back to this special 2020 Spring Wildcat Sports Update. Our next set of athletes that we're going to bring are the captains, two of the captains of the Wildcat boys track team. They are the sprint captains, I would assume. I'm pleased to welcome to the studio Richie Stewart and Jake Denali. Richie, why don't you get me going here? A little of a biographical background, track, and how long you've done it, what you do, what events you do, and those.
Yeah, I'm Richie Stewart. I am the sprinting captain. I do the 100, 200, 300, and long jump. I've done track all 4 years of high school, and sprint track 3 years, and cross country for 3 years. Yeah.
That's good. Jake?
Well, let's see. So I run the 400 for the boys track team, and winter I run the 600. I've been doing track all through high school. I was the captain for cross country this year. I've done winter track for 4 years. I've done spring track for 3 years, and baseball my freshman year. It's been quite a fun time, and I've really enjoyed it.
That's good. That's good. So I've had the other athletes in, and we're really focused early on, mid-March came around, and all of a sudden the COVID-19 took over. We social distance, as we can see that we're doing here in the studio. And it looked like at that time the MIA was going to say, you guys might get your season in. So around April they were talking there could be something to happen. What were you guys feeling, Jake, you first, what was the feeling around April? Did you really think you'd get the season in, or how'd you feel?
To be honest, I really wasn't quite sure. I had a feeling that it was going to be canceled. I mean, I would have loved it to have it, but the cases kept rising, deaths kept getting worse, and the back of my mind, I knew it wasn't going to happen.
Okay, Richard, how were you feeling around April as they were, it's like they're leading you on, okay, we might have a season, we might not have it.
Yeah. I felt pretty similar to Jake. I was trying to stay hopeful for as long as I could, but after a while, with everything else being canceled, I just kind of knew it, and it kind of hurt, but we can move on.
Yeah. So was it so when we get to May and all of a sudden they announce everything's done, there's no more, and nothing, I mean, completely, there's no special track meet, there's no anything that you could do. Gut punch, or all of a sudden you're off the cliff, your athletic career is over at Wilmington High School. So was that how you felt, or were you just resigned to the fact that it was going to end that way, Richie?
Honestly, I was more. It didn't hurt as much as I was expecting it to.
Yeah.
To be honest, I kind of just looked back on all my years, and I remembered all the fun times I've had, and it was it's just been a great experience. It's been the highlight of my high school career, so it hurt less than I was expecting, and I kind of just am just grateful for the time we had.
Yeah.
Okay, and Jake?
Couldn't say it better myself.
Okay.
For me, actually, I'm going to Marine Corps boot camp in August, so for me mentally, I've been more focused on that now.
Okay.
I'm just trying to get rid of all the sad thoughts. I'm trying to focus myself on getting myself prepared for my future.
Okay, good, perfect. Steal my thunder, talk about your future.
I'm sorry.
What am I going to do, Jake? I'm going to have to kick you out of the studio. No, kidding. Kicking Marine out of the studio might not be the smartest thing a 50-year-old man would do. So let's go back to February, March. We're getting ready to have the season. What were you, Jake, what were you looking forward to this season the most?
Well, this track team was probably the best team we've ever had in history. This is an incredible team. We had such great depth this year. And I truly believe that we would have won the league meet this year. We would have won state relays, and we had a chance of winning the whole state title this year too. The team was incredible, and I know for a fact that this team would have done great things this year.
Okay, and Richie?
Yeah, we had a great winter season, and we were really looking to carry that over in the spring, and so we all had really high expectations, both as a team and individually. But obviously that won't happen anymore. But
right, and is it because you set these expectations so high, and is it disappointing? Is probably not the right word, but what is it? What's the thought process that you had this opportunity? I got there's 50 seniors on the track team. or not 50, but there are a
There's a
lot.
lot, there's a lot.
Pretty big number.
Yeah.
And you know how did that make you feel? That all of a sudden you really had this, you set your high expectations, now you're not going to be able to accomplish those, Richie.
Yeah, it hurt, definitely. Because the last few years we've never had the greatest team in the league. We've always kind of been average. And this is like our year. This is our senior year. We had a great group of guys. We had a really good class in our grade and the younger grades. And so to be able to not do that and probably not have as good of a team for a long time now, it just kind of hurts. But yeah, I'm moving on. I'm not
good. That's
going to
good.
dwell on it.
Jake, I'll give you one last comment on this situation about losing. You know, the expectation is set from a personal standpoint as a captain. How you know you're going to have an opportunity. What was like the rug get pulled on you? How's that go through your mind? What's the thought process of that?
Well, like he had said, it really hurt because I had trusted this team. I know everything that we could have done and our abilities as a team, and that we were angry in a way that because we haven't won and we really wanted it, and you could just feel the energy with our guys that we wanted this so badly, and now it's been just ripped away from us.
Okay, now I know you're both sprinters, although you're a 400 guy, right?
Yeah.
Cross country, that's still considered a sprint.
Yeah.
And Richie over there is the short distance.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say 400 when I do the 100, 200, 300, 400. But that's okay.
I can
so
do it.
what were your individual, Jake, your individual goals for the year in your events specifically?
Well, for my sophomore year for the 400, I ran a 54 flat. But my junior year, I actually tore my hip flexor and my IT band, and I missed pretty much all the spring last year. I really didn't have a good spring season. So for me this year, I was going to come back and I was going to run hopefully like a low 50 if that was possible. I was aiming for that because I know that I could definitely do it. So it would have been important for me for myself to get back out there and prove to myself that I can get better and have better times.
And Richie?
Yeah, I had a pretty similar the last couple of years. I hurt my hips a couple of times too, and I think this year I came back a lot stronger from over the summer and everything. And I was really excited to try and get some new personal records and really qualify for states more and get more medals. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen, but yeah, I was pretty much looking into the team goals more than my personal
Now, you
goals.
guys are sprinters, and you're also technically a field athlete because you do long jump. Are there any, we're going to have the two distance captains in right after this. Are there any other field athletes that any of the seniors that you'd like to mention? I mean, I hate to say because you missed somebody, but you know, who are some of the standout field athletes that you could mention? Richard?
Field athletes. Dean Nally he didn't do winter because he did wrestling, but he had a really strong season last year, and this season he was going to be our top thrower in I think all the 3 of the throws.
Okay.
And we were really excited for him to be on the team, and unfortunately that's not going to be able to happen. But he would have been a big part of our team this year, so I think he's definitely to mention him.
How about the jumpers?
We have a lot of junior jumpers.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's good enough.
Yeah. So they'll be good next year.
So for you, Jake, it looks like over the course of 4 years or 3 years, you guys have built this. The program seems to be getting built up further and further. Is that a legacy you guys can leave behind? That even though you didn't have a chance to compete for the state championship, is a legacy left behind being, you know, this program is in a pretty good spot.
I really hope so. I remember my freshman year for cross country, we had probably like 12 senior boys come in, and that was like a huge shock because that was the first time I ever got that many numbers, and 12 doesn't seem like a lot, but for running wise, it was. And then we carried through winter and spring. And we kind of started this new thing of like working hard for the track team because like before us, the track was kind of like not a joke, but it wasn't taken as seriously as it was now. And now our track program, we feel is that we've built this up to be a high-respecting sporting event for our town.
Excellent, excellent. What are you going to miss the most, Richie?
The people, definitely. I have so many friends in this team. I've made so many friends in this team. Just like seeing everyone every day after school and just like talking with everyone, blowing off the steam after a whole day. It's you can't replace it with anything really.
It's good. It's lucky you get to go first because now Jake, you cannot repeat what he said. Their answer.
Ooh,
You're going to come up with.
That's
what
tough.
do you miss
That's
the most?
tough. I mean,
I know you miss the people. We show all.
The bonds that we make, I'd say.
Okay, good.
The bonds. Like just like going on long trips for long meets, spending long hours on the bus ride, freezing in cold rain and water. it's kind of just like embracing the suck, and you do it together as a team, and you come through it stronger. And that's what we
You're
did.
going to be a coach someday. You know that. Embracing the suck is a really good thing to put on the T-shirt.
Yeah.
You know,
I actually have a T-shirt that says that.
It says that? Okay, perfect. So we already know you're going to hit boot camp.
Going August 24th.
Marine, so you're going to the Marines. What are you looking to specialize isn't the right word, but what are you focusing
So
on?
right now my MOS is communications for the Marine Corps. What that entails is just basic radio stuff, cybersecurity. So I'm going to do my 4 years of service. I'll get the GI Bill and come out of the Marine Corps and just work and make a living and just enjoy life as an American.
Where are you going to boot camp?
Parris Island, South Carolina.
Go to the fun place, right?
It's going to be a lot of fun down there.
That's good. That's good. And for somebody who didn't serve, thank you. Congratulations. And Richie, your future?
I'm going to UMass Amherst next year.
Okay. Studying?
I'm going to be studying finance in the Eisenberg School of Management.
Okay. And are you going to compete any track in your future?
I'm thinking about it, but definitely not on the real team or the varsity team, but
Right.
on the club team, I'm thinking about it maybe. But just I'll definitely be staying active. I don't know about track or not yet, but.
Okay, now my two special questions, and Richie, we'll start with you. What's your favorite memory of your years on the spring track team, Williams? We won't do it, but just on spring track. What's your favorite memory? One thing. It doesn't have to anything to do with competition. Anything that your favorite memory is.
Oh, I don't even know. It's hard to pick. One memory from this year, actually, in winter was we went to Andover. Well, not Andover, Worcester, sorry. We went to a meet at Dartmouth Relays up in Dartmouth, New Hampshire, and that was a really fun day because it's really far away. So we drove up with our coach in his car and just a couple of the kids, and we stayed there for most of the day. We all competed on this really the whole track and everything was really like
on the
historic
track,
and everything.
right?
Yeah. And that was a really fun day. And then we went out to eat after with the coaches and everything, and that was just a really good day.
Jake?
For me, my favorite moment from spring would be last year. The first meet of the year, Burlington Wakefield had a meet, and Burlington beat Wakefield. And we were all excited because we beat Burlington in the winter. And we did unfortunately lose the close meet to Burlington, but when they showed up, I remember everyone on the boys team gathered at the middle of the turf, and we all had a huge meeting. We were all so energetic and ready to do this. It really showed me that we became one. We all had the same mental mentality to go out there and just do whatever it takes to win. And that was probably one of my favorite moments.
Awesome. And then finally, first before we do this, so any about your coaches? And you want to let you say one quick blurb about a coach? Any coaches you have?
Awesome. I mean, this is probably the best coaches I ever had in my entire life. They really just put all their time and effort into us, and they've been so amazing, and I can't thank them enough.
Okay, Richie?
Yeah, I agree. They've been there for me in track, out of track, in school, for college, just everything. If I need something, they're always there for me. And on the track, obviously, they've been great coaches, just teaching me and helping me learn about the sport.
Perfect. So we'll close our time together. The next final one is you want to, if you get, now you've got to talk really straight to the coaches, so you can even use the coaches. Who would you like to thank for getting to this point in the track and field business world, everything? Let's start with Richie.
Definitely Coach Petrone and Coach Kinney. Coach Petrone during the cross country season, he allowed me to come and sprint with him instead of doing distance because I'm not a good distance runner. So I'm really thankful for that whole experience. Coach Kinney, obviously, because he's been there in track just all 4 years. He's always supported me and helped me get better as an athlete. And then obviously my parents and everything, because they've just been there for all the meets and just watching me and hear me on.
Jake?
I said my parents because for fall, I wasn't going to do a sport, but they made me do a sport, so I decided to do cross country. And then I played basketball and baseball. And then I loved XC so much that I decided I'll quit basketball and try track.
Yeah.
And I loved track so much. And it was a tough call. I played baseball my freshman year. I loved it, but thinking back on it, I do regret it because just track to me was just the best thing that ever happened to me in my entire life. And just the coaches and how the energy that they have there and how nice they are and how understanding, it really made me love track so much.
Excellent. So your parents said you had to do a fall sport, and you picked cross country.
And now they just brought me
the
into
rest
this.
of history.
Yep.
Perfect. Well, once again, I want to thank you guys. I know it's tough. You're graduating without really graduating. You are the COVID class of 2020, whatever you're going to call yourself. But I really appreciate you coming in. I appreciate you, at least as athletes, putting forward a good effort and understanding what's going on. And like I said, good luck in your futures. Good luck at Paris
Thank you.
Island. Good luck at UMass. And if you do get to see some football games when Temple comes out, don't go because we'll probably win the game. But like I said, I appreciate that. And we will be right back after this with our two distance captains. All right. Welcome back to our final segment of this special Spring 2020 Wildcat Sports Update. This afternoon, our final two guests are the distance captains for our Wildcat boys track team. Pleased to welcome to the studios Greg Adamick and Joe Lydon. And let's just a real quick basic introduction, even though I did say your name and track events you do and where you are. Let's start with Greg.
All right, so hi, I'm Greg. I am the distance captain of the Wilmington track team. I primarily do the mile and 2 mile.
Right. I'm Joe. I wasn't a captain this past winter season. I was in the fall for cross country. I usually do the mile and 2 mile, same as Greg.
Okay. And we've been talking a lot about it's the lost season. You guys, in March we all went home. I'm sorry to repeat myself, but in March we went home. Also in April they were talking maybe there would be a season or not. Yeah. And how did you feel come April, Greg?
So, I was really hopeful when they're saying that we're going to have a season, and then kind of when I found out that there's probably going to be no chance they're going to have a season, I was pretty upset, not going to lie. But at this point, there's no point of crying over spilled milk. I mean, I still was able to accomplish a lot. It was, an honor to run a team at all. So, the fact that I got it in, 11 seasons, I'm happy with that. It's not the best outcome, but it's an outcome.
Okay, Joe, April. What is let's thought process in April, and then like Greg said, all of a sudden it stops. There was an opportunity and nothing. What was it?
Yeah, I think it was a really big shame. I was, the season was the thing senior year that I was looking forward to more than anything else. So I monitored the situation very closely. I was always on Twitter looking for the MIAA to see what they would decide. I was always pretty confident that the season would take place. So when it was decided that there would be no season, I was pretty upset.
Okay, and so now we know there's no season, but when we were back in March, what were you looking forward to for the season, Joe?
So I think the big thing for us in the spring would have been all the team goals. You know, it was kind of just a perfect storm of circumstances for us. We were coming off a really strong winter season. We had all the depth, we had all the talent we needed to go really far, and there were a bunch of different team goals we had our eyes on. We were aiming to be the Freedom Division champions, and most importantly, I believe, we were looking to get revenge on Burlington. In the winter at the indoor relay meet, they beat us by half a point, and we were looking to return the favor in the spring, but we never got the chance.
That seems to be a common thread with the two sprinters, was that Burlington was the team we wanted to beat. Greg, so what were you personally looking forward to the season?
Yeah, so on top of all the team goals, there was definitely the mile. I mean, I just broke the school record in the winter, and while I technically could have beaten it in spring if I carried over that same race over into outdoors, I really didn't technically get to beat it. So that was definitely a goal. Also, I was trying to build off the momentum I already had with the mile. Try to go faster and faster, maybe even try to get 4:20 or below. I mean, that would have been awesome. But also another focus would have been the 4-bar mile, because we had a lot of promising people who could run pretty fast in the mile, including Joe. So I was also kind of looking forward to that, seeing how the 4-bar mile could do.
Good. So Joe, individual. Now the team, we had the common thread was the team's goals were that this was going to be a great team. Freedom Division, District, State, North, South. Those things were right out there for you. But we all know track is also a very individual sport as well. So what were your individual goals? What were you set for? What were you looking at?
Yeah, so for me, I was going through a bit of a transition. At the start of the winter season, I was doing the mile mostly, and I was struggling. We talked to my coach a little bit. We figured out maybe I'd be better at the 2-mile, and immediately things started to pick up. I started to get a lot better. I qualified for states. I had a good race at states. So for the spring, I was looking to continue that momentum. Maybe with some luck on my side, I maybe could have even broken the 10-minute barrier. I would have been the first kid to do that in quite a few years, but we'll never know now.
That's true. So we can do some technical running talk here if we want. So you're the school record holder for the indoor mile.
Yes.
Okay, at 4:20.
At 4:26.
4:26. What's your fastest outdoor time?
So my fastest outdoor time, I think, is still a 4:35.
4:35. Would you expect to be faster indoors or outdoors?
It really depends. Like some years I am faster outdoors, and some years I'm actually slower. Okay. It really is more of getting used to running in tiny circles to big circles, So.
Very technical look at it. That's excellent. I like that. So that's great. And Joe, from your perspective, you said you went from a miler to a 2-miler. What changed in your training? What did you do a little bit or differently? How did you get to that point to try to break 10?
I mean, nothing really changed about my training. I was dealing with some sickness early in December. That certainly held me down a lot. Once I got healthier, things started to click a lot more, and I think I was just better suited to a longer race where you can take a patient approach, wait, bide your time, make the right moves when you're supposed to make them. And I was really looking forward to seeing how that would go in the spring. I never really got a chance before.
So just for my own personal benefit, what's your mileage like a day? How many miles are you guys doing a day?
So sometimes we go on long runs, so 10 miles at most usually. And some other days we might do something really short but fast, and we could do 800s, 200s, do those really fast and repetitively. So I think per day I'd say it'd average around 5, 6.
Okay.
So
and as distance runners, we'll call you, which you are, things I can't do right now. Joe, what's the longest distance you've run competitively?
The longest distance I've run competitively is the 5K in cross country in the fall. It's a little bit longer than 3 miles. I believe that's the longest distance high schoolers can run.
And what was your time? What's your PR for cross country, the 5K?
For me, I ran 16:55 at my fastest.
Okay. Do you have any aspirations to go further, longer?
So when we get to college, the races get longer as we get older. They have 8K races, about 5 miles, and 10K races, 6 miles. I don't know how well I'd do in a competitive race that long, but if I get the chance, I'd definitely want to find out.
Greg?
So on an official capacity, the longest we can do is a 5K, and in that I got a 15:57, which is another school record. But also have dipped my
Somebody's
toes.
a good runner here. I hate to say it right now, but we got a pretty good runner here. Yeah.
Well, so I also dipped my toes into the 10K a little bit. I did some 10K road runs, and those seem to be pretty fun. I think it's definitely a lot more patient race than the 5K, and it takes a lot of brain power. But I think me and Joe both would be pretty good at it. So
Excellent. Any aspirations of doing a half marathon or a marathon?
I eventually want to get to the point where I can run the marathon.
Okay.
It's at some point in my life running the Boston Marathon, that would be great.
Awesome. Joe?
I'm not really sure. I think it's something that anyone who calls himself a runner should do at some point. We'll have to see if my body can take that long of a race, but I'm going to try at some point.
That's awesome. That's good news. Next question: what are you going to miss the most about track or Wilmington High School track over in the spring season? Joe, we'll let you go first. And you can't repeat Greg. If he says I miss my teammates, you can't say teammates.
For me, I just miss, going to practice every day. We had a really great team culture. There were a ton of us senior boys on the team. I think you mentioned before, there were like 25 of us. We all knew each other very well even before we got to high school. We bonded a lot, on all our runs and workouts and suffering at the hands of our coach. But, that's never gonna come back. Those everyday practices, you don't think much of it at the time, but I'm gonna miss that more than anything.
Thanks. And Greg?
So I know definitely one of the things that is great about track is that you can work at your own pace and work with people. You can kind of choose. And while it's sometimes great to just go on a run by yourself some days, other times it's great to just be there with people, have other people there to push you. I think that's one of the things I miss most about practice is that there was a great team environment, but also the people there would motivate you to go further. And so that's definitely has helped me throughout my whole career. There's been people like Joe who have been there to push me, and when I'm down, they're there to drag me back up.
That's great. We talk about the whole team. Are there any field athletes? Because I have with the sprinters and the sprinters and the distance people here tonight. Any field athletes? I know they mentioned Dean Alley as a thrower.
Yeah.
Are there any any other people you want to give a shout out to as that were standouts to help you score points to get you that goal of a league championship?
So
they might not be seniors though, correct?
Yeah,
any seniors? Let's look at the seniors.
The seniors. Nathan Curto is another thrower. He definitely helped out in winter. He was our big thrower in winter, so he really helped out. Good. So shout out Nathan.
Okay. Joe?
So like Greg mentioned, we had a few senior boy throwers who would have been really big for us. Also, Richie Stewart, who was in here before, he was a big long jumper. We had a few of those. And then one other kid, we have one pole vaulter on the team, Andy Lee. He's a senior as well. Pole vault isn't it's not a scored event in most meets, but it's something really interesting that our coach tries to get as many kids into it as he can. Andy, out of all of them, took it the most seriously, and I was looking forward to see what he could have done.
Good. It's interesting. And what does the future hold? What's your future look like, Joe? You talk about college and competing?
So I'm not going to be I'm going to UMass Amherst. I'm not going to be on the team there right away. Maybe in the future if everything breaks the right way. But they have club teams. They have, other races you can sign up for. I'll try my hand at those. I certainly don't just want to go to school and nothing else.
And what are you going to study?
I'm studying political science.
Okay. An interesting topic to get into. We won't go further along here today, but it's a very, very relevant topic. Greg, your future?
So I plan on competing at UMass Amherst too. It's just right now I can't make the team for cross country, so I'll have to start off with club. But I definitely plan on eventually getting on the team.
So you're going out to Amherst, Joe. Richie's going to Amherst. How many track athletes are going out to Amherst on your team? Going to Amherst? It seems like a
good amount.
Oh, good. And what are you going to study, Greg?
Physics.
Physics?
Yeah.
Okay, another guy smarter than me. That's what I like to bring him into the room like that. What's your favorite moment, Greg? Favorite moment of your track career, all through since you were maybe 3 years old, starting to run the 100 in diapers, to now that you're a senior. What's the pinnacle of the so far of the Greg Adamick career? What's your favorite moment?
I'd say so. Junior year, and I was running 2 mile against Burlington, and we were really close on points, and so I needed to get second place to get us enough points to win, and so I was running against Johnson, who is now Burlington's best runner in distance, and we were head to head in the whole 2 mile. I was able to outkick him the last second. You know, that very close race, and the satisfaction of winning that just by an inch. You know, it was crazy, and I don't know, that was kind of a cool moment. You know,
awesome, that's great. And Joe?
For me, it was the Twilight Invitational this past year in cross country. This was the first year we got to attend. Really big meet. A lot of the best teams in the state go there. It's at night. It's a really fast course, really great environment. I was looking to break 17 minutes for the first time, and if there was going to be any race that year that I could have done it, it would have been that one. So I went in knowing what I had to do. I followed the plan exactly as I wanted to, went out fast but not too fast, held my pace. When I got to the last mile, I knew it was within my reach, so I pushed myself harder than I've ever pushed myself before. And coming down the final stretch, I could see the clock. I could see that I was going to do it. It was a great feeling.
That's great. And finally, I'm going to let you thank somebody for getting to this point in your track career. Who would you thank? Joe. I skipped you, Greg. Went right over you. Sorry. Joe, who would you thank?
For me, I'd thank the coaches, all of them, Coach Kinney, Coach Patrone, Coach Shell. Those three always, they were in charge of me during cross country and track. They were the ones who got me into the sport and made me what I am today.
Okay, is track like a family thing, or are you the first one in your family?
I'm the eldest. I started the tradition, and now my 2 younger brothers are in it as well.
So when they get to this position, if we do get Wildcat Sports in 2024 or whatever, and they sit here and they can thank you for getting them involved. Awesome, I like that. And Greg?
Well, so if I had to choose one person, I'd probably choose the kid sitting next to me. You know, he's been my motivation for basically since I started running. You know, when he beat me in the school mile in like 6th grade, as he was like, I gotta get faster than him. And then, you know, I worked hard, and by the time we were running track in high school, you know, he's been there for me every step of the way. And so, you know, thanks, Joe.
That's awesome. So, like I said, I'd like to thank the 2 of you, Joe and Greg, for coming in and sharing your thoughts on what's been really a difficult spring, especially for the seniors, high school and college seniors who aren't going to get real graduation, who don't get to do their athletic events and their concerts and their plays and all the other fun things that go. So I wish you luck in your future. Like I said, I really thank you for coming in, and I appreciate it. And I'd like to thank our audience as well, and our baseball, softball, and track sprinters and distance runners for coming in today to share their thoughts and feelings about what's going on here in the spring of 2020. So for Wildcat Sports Update, this is Jim Boyle. I thank you for joining us and look forward to seeing everybody down the road, hopefully starting in the fall, and we will have a new athletic director. Hopefully get some interview with her and move forward with our sports. So once again, thanks to everybody for joining us, and thanks to my athletes. I'll see you guys down the road.